Alright, so I guess I'm back. My last video, like I said, was too big to go up on Facebook, so I've changed the settings a little bit. I made the picture smaller and the quality a little bit lower. I don't know how that's going to impact things. When I posted on YouTube, I got a complaint that in order to click like on my video, you had to sign into YouTube. Now, I'm a big fan of YouTube, and to me, everybody should want to be on YouTube and therefore have a YouTube account. But of course, not everybody thinks like I do, so if you want to view my videos but you don't have a YouTube account, the best solution I can come up with is that you're not going to be able to click like or make a comment on YouTube. However, you can click like or make a comment on my Facebook page. May not be a perfect solution. It's the only one I have for that particular problem. And the only other solution is make a YouTube account. But that would be up to you. So this video, I am going to talk about who I am a little bit more. You're not going to get a lot out of me about who I am. I'm a very private person, but I do want to talk a little bit about who I am. And I want to talk about tolerance and saying what you mean, or in this particular case, saying what I mean. I do want to give thanks for the suggestion that was put on my last video. There was a suggestion on what to have my next video or one of my videos be, and I promise I will hit that topic. It's about America being free or the illusion thereof. And that will be coming, but I wanted to get this video out first and possibly one other one before I go to that topic. But again, I hope everybody watches this. I hope everybody likes it. But if you don't, please tell me why. If you did like it and you want to click like, whether it's here or on YouTube, or make a comment, whether it's here or on YouTube, that's all fine. But to be perfectly honest, I do prefer opposing points of view so that we can have discussion and debate. Now, let's get right into it because I don't have a lot of time. A lot of you may know that I am married. A lot of you may not know that my relationship with Tracy is no longer in that capacity. Now, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for I'm sorries. I'm not looking for anything. I'm just putting it out there because it's kind of public knowledge. My Facebook page has changed so that my status doesn't show a relationship. Now, what Tracy and I are friends. We have changed the capacity of our relationship on a social level, but she and I still get along. So she's not out of my life. She's just not in my life in the same capacity. And that's about all you're going to get out of me. There's nothing else I'm going to say about that. But in case anybody actually happens to notice that my relationship status is not the same, well, that's why. And that's about all I'm going to talk about me. That's what I wanted to say. Now, let's talk about saying what you mean. As a rule of thumb, it's pretty important to me to say what I mean. If I ask a question, I want an answer to that question. Now, if you want to give me additional information, that's fine, but I like to say what I mean. I like to mean what I say. However, it does seem to me that the older I get, the more likely it is that sometimes I will say stuff don't even know why I feel that way. And therefore, maybe I don't even know what I really mean. I'm just trying to verbalize a thought process and hoping that in doing so, I can get to an understanding of what I'm saying. Now, that may seem totally opposite. It may seem ridiculous. Maybe some of you say, hey, I know exactly what you're talking about. But when I do that, I do try to stipulate, point out that that is what I'm doing. I don't try to just say random stuff that I don't really understand without saying, I'm not really sure what I'm saying here, but... So I try to preface it or follow it with the explanation that maybe I'm not really 100% sure what the hell I'm talking about. That'll come up in these videos. If you don't understand what I'm saying right now, you will. It'll come up. Just wanted to throw it out there. I guess there was one other thing I wanted to talk about me. Not having a script makes things a little bit difficult, and I have to remember what I want to say. Still don't like having scripted videos, but I'm sure it'll happen. Right now, I am a firm believer that there is an exception to every rule, including the rule that there's an exception to every rule, because at some point in time there will be something that there is no exception to. But I'm a firm believer, exception to every rule. And that being said, that fits right into the tolerance topic of this video. Looks like we're going to hit at least 10 minutes. We're over 6. Almost, yeah, we just hit 7. So anyway, there's an exception to every rule, and in my life, I am finding that I have a lot of polar opposites. I believe marriage should be forever, and I've had 2 marriages that didn't last forever. To a degree, that's a problem for me. To a degree, that's the way it goes. I don't think I'm a bad person because of it. However, I can easily judge someone else who has left a marriage. Does that make me a hypocrite? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Or are there just exceptions to the rule? I don't know. That one you're going to have to decide on your own. That's just one example. I'll give you another example. I am firmly opposed to illegal drugs. But I have a couple people in my life that I know that have an addiction to illegal drugs. I think we all are addicted to something, to be perfectly honest. The people that I know in my life that have an addiction, I tolerate it. To a degree, I support it, or support them. But it's easy for me to judge someone I don't know that has an addiction, which I don't actually like that I do. But another polar opposite. I don't like drugs or drug use. I don't think an addict is a bad person just because they're an addict, although I used to. And I used to be very adamant about the thought that if you used illegal drugs, it was completely your fault and you were a bad person. That attitude has changed. I don't think a person is bad because they use illegal drugs, but I don't think using illegal drugs is a good thing. I don't think there's any upside to it. Not really. I know when you're using, you may think there is. I know it may feel good. I know it may make you happy. But I don't think there's an upside in the end. I think it's negative. And I don't think it makes the person bad. Sure, maybe it was their choice. Maybe they made bad choices that got them into that position. But I think what matters is how they deal with that in their life. Do they hurt people? Do they rob people? Do they, intentionally cause problems to other people to facilitate their needs? Those are bad things that I still can't tolerate. But if you have an addiction and you don't hurt anybody else, really the addiction is hurting you and, your friends and your family indirectly, but you're not intentionally hurting other people, then I can sympathize. And I feel bad. And I think, even though it isn't drug related, I think we all have addictions. Whether it's chocolate or whether it's, for guys, I think a lot of guys have an addiction to sex. Or whether it's, whatever. For me, Sobe, energy, yellow. If I don't drink this stuff, it affects my mood. So you can't tell me that I don't have an addiction. And I know that's not anything like an addiction to an illegal drug like, say, heroin or cocaine or LSD or, I don't even know, meth. I've never used an illegal drug in my life, so I can't understand it on a personal level. But I understand addiction, even if it's not the same level, the same degree. And like I said, I think we all have addictions, and this brings me right to tolerance. The older I get, the more important it is to me to be tolerant. My dad passed away a few years ago. And to be perfectly honest, I don't remember the exact date it happened. I don't remember the year it happened. But I remember it happened. And I remember being affected by it a lot more than I thought I was going to be. Because my dad and I had a kind of on and off relationship. We didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. But my brother told me that before my dad died, one of the things he said was, we have to help people. And I strongly agree with that. Now, people have to help themselves. You can't help somebody unless they want to help themselves. You can't help somebody unless they're willing to take that help. And we certainly can't help somebody to be who we want them to be unless they want to be that person too. We have to help somebody be who they want to be, or it's pointless. Because people are only going to be what they want and do what they want. If they're not ready for something, if they don't agree with it, you can try to help them. It's not going to help. It's pointless. But I agree that we have to help people. And in this day and age, I don't think we help each other enough. And in this day and age, I don't think we're tolerant enough. We all have a perception on what should happen and what is right and what we believe and what we think. But not everybody believes the same thing. And we really need to understand that just because somebody behaves different or thinks different or wants different things doesn't make them bad. And I'm really disturbed with a lot of things I see in the news and on Facebook and what people say and how they react to each other and how they treat each other just because they have a difference of opinion. And I really think we need to be a lot more tolerant to one another. We don't have to agree on everything. But that's no reason we can't agree to be civil to one another. And this video is about ready to end. I'm about ready to hit 15 minutes. So I think I'm going to leave it there. and see what you guys have to say. Hopefully, I've made some statements that people will want to make some comments on. Video didn't go exactly the way I'd planned. Again, it's not scripted. But hopefully something I've said will resonate with somebody and they'll make some comments. So I really hope you watch this. It's going to have to go up on YouTube. You're going to get a link. And like always, click like if you want. Make a comment if you want. If you like what I've said, by all means, let me know. But in all cases, if you disagree or if you don't like what I said, please don't just tell me, but tell me why. Let's have some discussion. And if you have some thoughts on what I should make videos about, you can post that too. Thanks, and I hope you all have a good day. I'm off to work.